welcome to another episode of Cosmos with Cosmos. I'm Liz.
I'm Mike.
I'm Brandon.
Barely alive, but
functioning. But alive nonetheless. I have beaten death one more time.
Yes, as have we all, I guess. Every time we wake up, we've beaten death.
And in a sense. We don't.
Until we don't.
Yes. Flip off death until it flips us off back.
Well, on this happy note.
But we have a really good winning percentage.
That's true.
I like that.
Speaking of death, welcome to another episode of High in the Sky edition of Cosmos and Cosmos for August of 2024.
Can't believe it's August.
We're in August. That's true. Time has passed. Time is weird. Check out our episode on time out now, wherever you get your podcasts. Your podcasts. I was thinking of Spotify. Yeah. Anyway, because this is Cosmos with Cosmos, Brandon, what are you drinking?
I forgot to think of a name for this. So I'm going to call it Not Today Death, and it is water.
Yay! Because, oftentimes it's okay to just drink water, and we should be drinking a lot more water than we do, probably.
Hydro homies.
Yeah, hydro homies.
Well, he did a lot of drinking last night, so...
Well,
water. This is a children's program.
It was the weekend.
I had lots of apple juice yesterday.
I had a delightful whiskey sour and then a delightful brown sugar old fashioned last night.
Very nice.
It's very, very nice. Anyway, Mike, what are you and also I drinking?
Oh, I gotta reach for it. This is what is it? Foxy Peach, which has which has bourbon. It has peach liqueur in it. Lemon juice, peach tea, brown sugar, and peach jam from South Carolina.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sounds like my jam.
Mm-hmm. Locally made peach jam from South Carolina, and it's quite normally use muddled peaches for it, but he was like, I wonder if I use the jam, and it's quite tasty. Mm-hmm. Definitely sweeter, I think, a little bit sweeter.
I am very quickly going to back up and turn my AC down.
All right, you do you. While you do that, follow us on all the things, everybody, at Drinking Cosmos on Twitter and Cosmos everywhere else. Follow us on all the Spotifys and the Apple Podcasts and the YouTubes. And, of course, check out our shot-sized episodes of astronomy science with The Shot with Cosmos. With Cosmos episodes out every other... Shot size.
Oh, shot size.
New set episodes out every other Wednesday. We'll have one coming out... There will be one out by the time this podcast goes up.
Excellent. What's it on? What's the topic of that shot?
I'm not gonna tell you. I can't tell you. It's got to be a surprise, but it has a certain gravity to it, I think. Also, follow us or follow some friends of ours.
Hey, we have friends.
We got friends. Wildixia, her wonderful art on Etsy, Wildixia, and our good buddy Ron Proctor at the Mr. Proctor Show. Check him out on YouTube, and he does some cool stuff with astronomy science as well as just education in general. He's awesome. And our good buddy Jack Northrup, check out his planetarium, the Rolling Bluffs Planetarium.com in the Council Bluffs, Iowa
I believe
area.
Brandon has his name.
Yes, Brandon. Do you have a question for class?
I do. This may not be appropriate venue, but I'll ask it nonetheless. Okay. Wildixia, do you do commissions? Yes or no? If so, I have a question.
I told her you were going to want to ask about a commission.
Yeah. Okay.
And she was like, yeah.
Cool.
So we're on a slight delay, so you gotta wait for her answer. But speaking of her, she is having some peach wine called a Fruscato, and we're both being peachy today, so I love it.
Peachy.
And you'll find out why our drink is called the Foxy Peach.
Stick around
when we get on with the show. But first, we do have some rules of the show. If you hear some doggies bark, take a drink. And if we make any nerdy references to things such as Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, also take a drink. She says, yeah, she'll do a commission for you.
Hell yeah.
You get the... It's because she knows you. No, I'm just kidding.
I got the in.
You got the in. Depending on what you need.
Right.
I like the
if it's horses, no go. No, I'm just kidding. She's only done one horse, and that's all she'll do. No. Anyway, Are you ready to get high in the sky?
Are you ready?
The August night sky. Every month has a beautiful night sky.
We haven't
August is
seen
no
ours in a
different.
bit.
Yes, we are surrounded by wildflowers.
That's
That
nice.
we
Wild
are
flowers.
surrounded by wildflowers, but we're surrounded by wildfires. So
Yes,
we
that's
are just
good.
covered with smoke
We
everywhere.
are. Oh, it's been a terrible 2 days.
I've been getting I got the air purifiers going. I mean, I love the smell of a campfire, but geez, anyway. But there are some sights to see for the August night sky. Now, of course, for our High in the Sky episodes, we always like to feature, instead of talking about every single constellation that's up there that you can find, you can use the Sky Map application on your phone to help you identify what you're looking at. Instead, we like to just do a little constellation highlight, a feature of a constellation.
Okay.
And this month's constellation highlight is on just a small, kind of dim constellation, because we got to feature the little guys too.
Yeah.
And that is Wildixia the fox.
Hey.
Wildixia!
Hence the foxy peach.
I wonder if that's how Vulpix got its name. Katie will help me out here in a second.
Okay, all right. Like I said, it's a small and dim constellation, and it's located amongst some heavies. All right. And when I
Okay.
say some heavies, I mean some brighter constellations.
Okay.
It is in the middle of the summer triangle.
Hey.
So the bright stars of Altair, Deneb, and Lyra in the constellations of Cygnus. Did I say Lyra?
did say
Vega.
Lyra.
I meant Vega. Deneb, Vega, and Altair in the constellations of Cygnus, Lyra, and Aquila, the Eagle. It's in the middle of those 3 stars, and those 3 stars stand out very nicely amongst
Very
the light,
nicely.
polluted nighttime sky. And there will be a very dim, kind of like L shape in the middle of them. These stars in the constellation of Vulpecula are the brightest one is of a 4.4 magnitude. So
What's that mean?
that means it's not very bright, basically.
Aw,
Thank you,
poor
Katie.
stars.
It's a
Okay.
fox Pokemon. They made a Pokemon joke earlier. That's what it was, and that's why I didn't get it.
You even pronounce Pokemon like an old person, Liz. Pokemon.
I bet I've watched more anime than you in
Not when it comes to Pokemon.
Pokemon. Poke. Anyway.
Anyway, I'm so sorry. This is not my day.
That's all right. You had a good night last night. The brightest star in it, Alpha Vulpeculi, also called... I have to find it in my notes now. I should move my notes into a better position that I can see them easier. Also called Answer.
Answer.
But not spelled
fun.
like answer.
Oh.
Answer, Anser, which means goose. Which I'll talk about why that is
Oh,
in a
it's
little
si-
bit.
It's a silly little star.
Yes, but foxes, they like to catch geese.
Yeah.
I was going to say they like to catch goose.
They like to do a lot of things.
Geeses.
Geesey. But this star, it's 291 light years away, and it's a red giant. So it's a star at the end of its life there, no longer on what's known as the main sequence. It's aging. Now, an interesting thing about Vulpecula, a little historic note to this constellation. The first ever pulsar was discovered within this
Hell yeah.
constellation in 1967 by Jocelyn Bell. Do we have a shot on Jocelyn Bell? We've talked about
we
her.
have
Certainly.
I think we have a shot on it was Jocelyn Bell Burnham and the Little Green Men.
Yes. Okay, so check
Oh,
out that
nice,
episode
yes.
of The Shot on our YouTube channel or on our podcast, Universe Places. And they were actually searching for quasars and kind of happened upon this pulsar here. And then 15 years later, the first millisecond pulsar was discovered in Vulpecula, only 1 degree away from the first pulsar that was discovered. So relatively close together in that proximity of the sky. I know, right? It's it's pretty interesting. So Vulpecula, like this dim constellation that is really not that like noteworthy, so to say. Actually, some pretty good science, some cool shit has happened inside of it or been discovered inside of it. Speaking of some cool shit, more cool shit in Vulpecula. The closest extrasolar planet that was studied by the retired Spitz Space Telescope. The extrasolar planet is HD 189733b.
What do you call people that live on HB 917793?
What, Brandon?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Dead, because it's not a habitable planet.
Okay.
It's very hot. However, a lot of water vapor has been observed. And then when I say observed, I mean like the chemical signatures of water vapor, not like actually seeing water vapor with eyeballs on the planet, which actually kind of has furthered the idea that like water is very prevalent and that on more Earth-sized or Earth-like planets that water could be a main factor in possible life.
Do we know if Web's going to take a look at it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I love how you said that.
Something else cool. A fun nebula, the Dumbbell Nebula.
See, I thought that was in Lyra.
Oh, well, apparently it's in Vulpecula.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's what I looked up. That's what it said. It said in the Googles. In the Googles, that's what it said.
I'm not. I'm just saying that it was a failing on my part in that I thought it was in Lyra, in between the two stars.
And maybe it's like it borders.
Yeah.
So maybe there's like it's in both.
I'm not calling out the research.
But this is a planetary nebula, aka a dead sun-like star. Mm-hmm. So a star like our sun basically couldn't perform fusion anymore. Gravity took over and then fluffed off his outer layers, and that was just and that those outer layers of gas become like this nebulous gaseousness around it, while the core shrinks down into a white dwarf. And that's a planetary nebula in a nutshell. But that's what the Dumbbell Nebula is. In fact, Google it. It's pretty cool. It kind of looks like a dumbbell, hence why it's called the Dumbbell Nebula. And it was discovered by Charles Messier, in 1764. And this is, it's 9,800 years old and 1,360 light years away.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's kind of young, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is...
I mean, we were probably in an ice age, 9,800
I mean,
years ago.
yeah. Like, there were humans on the Earth when this star was like, good night now. You know?
Aww.
There were saber-tooth tigers.
Good night, star.
Good night, star. Also in Vulpecula, or in that region of space, I should say, is NGC 7052-7052. It's an elliptical galaxy, which is different from a spiral galaxy. It doesn't have the spiral arms, not in a disc shape like our own Milky Way. Looks like, big, like kind of a obloid spherical ball of stars.
Or a rugby ball.
Or a rugby ball.
Damn it, yes.
Of course, a rugby ball.
Probably
of
more
stars.
of a rugby ball.
Yes, more of a rugby ball. Yes, we will no longer refer to elliptical galaxies as football shaped. They are rugby galaxies. Galaxy? No, I couldn't do that. That was bad. It's 214 million light years from Earth, and it's also classified as a radio galaxy because it has a high amount of radio emissions coming from it.
Now, if you wanted to do it in a British accent, you could do that because rugby technically invented in England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hello, Governor. It's a galaxy.
I believe it was a private school as well.
It was a private school? Hey!
It is. Well, yeah. We'll get into that later.
Oh, is that hangover material? We're going to talk about rugby in the hangover?
Yeah.
We'll legion some rugby in the hangover. But wait! There's more. We're not done. There is more.
Wow.
In Vulpecula, this tiny little fox got a lot of cool shit in it. Okay. The eastern part of Vulpecula has the Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall.
Whoa.
Yes, this
is. Keeping out
yes, it's keeping out the Mongols and.
Oh my god! I tried watching The Great Wall with Matt Damon. It is bad. It's not.
I don't know
good.
if I've ever heard of that movie.
Oh.
Also,
it's Matt Damon, Pedro Pascal. It's not good.
Is it new?
No,
it's
been
like
out for a long time, and there was a big There was a big issue
Oh, because
with
of
the casting.
they casted white people in it
Yeah.
when they shouldn't have casted white people in it.
Yeah.
But they
Even
had a
though-
reason. They had a reason plot-wise why they were there, but it was not good.
Okay, well, you heard it here first. Cosmos does not recommend The Wall, Great Wall,
The Great Wall.
with Matt Damon.
It's on one of
I
our
thought you
streaming
at first.
services,
I thought
so-
you said the Great Wall of Matt Damon, and I was like, "Is this a weird documentary about Matt Damon?"
All his personal
Okay.
boundaries he has up.
Yeah. No, this Great Wall in space
Oh,
is
yes.
a galaxy filament the length of 3,000 megaparsecs. Now, to put this
Yes.
in a little bit of better understandable terms, but not really.
Please, yes, please.
1 megaparsec equals 3.26 million light years.
Okay, so if you were to line up Skittles, how many Skittles would that be?
Why didn't I think of Skittles math before this?
Oh,
now you
well,
have a
if
job
you-
to do before the hangover.
If you... okay.
This is the largest known structure in the universe.
Whoa.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. I thought that was really neat. So hey, this little fox, it'll surprise you. You know?
What? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say
Okay.
it.
All right. By the way, Federico says he has some good hangover stuff about the wall. About Wall after Berlin. Hopefully he's still awake. You could do it, Federico. Katie says
It's maybe too big.
That's maybe too big.
That's the quote of the episode for me.
That's what she said.
Uh-huh.
So of course we like to talk about the mythology behind these constellations, right?
We are amateur mythographers, after
Yes, astromythographers.
all. Nice.
Hey, Vulpecula has none. It has
Oh.
no mythology because it was created by the 17th century astronomer Johannes Hevelius. He made up
Wait a minute.
Vulpecula.
Helvelius sounds familiar.
Yes, he's the one that drew our modern depictions of the constellations, or he's one of them. He's one of the main ones that's used, like in planetariums and such.
He's a sky artist.
He's a sky artist, yeah. So he basically, when they were kind of like, they were in the 17th century, they were basically pulling from Greek sources and kind of making a map of these constellations in the sky. And so a lot of them they could pull from Greek stories and everything like that, and what the Greeks saw. But for Vulpecula, I guess he just decided to make this one up out of this little L grouping shape of stars, and he drew it as a fox with a goose in its mouth. And so the brightest star was the goose. At one point, like, he intended them to be together. At one point, they were, like, separated into different constellations, but then they were put back together again. And so they're one.
I have an answer for you.
Oh, you got the Skittles map on the Great Wall?
6.17 billion Skittles.
Okay, it's a lot of zeros.
There's a lot. It's 6.17 times 10 to the 27.
Okay.
I can't. My brain just broke.
That's maybe
Show's over,
too big.
folks. That's it's too many. For once, there's too many Skittles.
That's just the wall.
It's just the wall.
The universe is so much
Oh
bigger.
God. Anyway, so like, yeah, mind blown. Also mind blown. Imagine being in a time where you can just make up fucking constellations, and then 337 years later, some nerds talk about it on their podcast.
Haven't we all been doing that though? Just making shit up.
Yeah, but it being like, officially,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
some random dude, I'll just make this up, and we're just like, yeah, that's Vulpecula. Been around forever. No, only since the 17th century. I know. That's cool. Interesting. Anyway, moving on.
Okay.
Planets.
Oh, boy.
Planets. Stars aren't the only thing up in the
Planets.
sky. Planets are up in the sky.
Stars are
There's
the only thing.
stars.
And even those are just fireflies that got stuck up there
Yeah.
in the big bluish black thing.
Yeah, they just
Only-
got stuck in a mesh.
There is only star.
There's only stars. But there's this picture of this dude, like, that's behind the wall that has all the stars in it. And he's kind of peeking through.
Mhm.
It's like from the 1600s or 1500s
Yeah,
or something like that.
The man behind the star curtain.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is. This dude behind the star curtain.
Well, he's wrong because there's planets. And the planets that we can see, I know, what a way to go down in history, right? You're known for your star artwork. But the planets we can see in the eastern morning sky is our good buddy Jupes and his pal Mars.
Okay.
Mars.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're hanging out this month in the eastern morning sky. On August 13th through 16th, they will be less than a full moon's width apart. So, and binoculars, you can see them together in binoculars.
Oh, nice.
But, I mean, you can see them next to each
Nice.
other just with your eyeballs, but through binoculars, they'll be in the same view, which is cool.
But not. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which means they'll be they're pretty close, so to speak. In the evening southeastern sky is Saturn, so you can find Saturn. And then Venus will be low in the west 30 minutes after sunset. So we probably won't be able to see Venus because we are surrounded by hills and
Smoke.
mountains and
Is it
also
rising?
smoke. But it is, it's setting because it's in the west, yeah.
Well, no. Is it getting further away from the sun, or is it diving towards
Sure.
the sun? Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it might be heading away from the sun
Oh, okay.
because it's been out of view for the past month, so it might be coming
Okay.
more
All right,
visible,
cool,
I think.
cool.
So that is my
You're probably not.
answer on
Wrong.
that. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
you know,
Yeah,
you
sure.
never know. You never know. And then August 28th, from the east to the southwest, you will be able to see Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn. All of
Wow.
them are going to be in view in the sky. Of course, Uranus
I was about to say.
and Neptune you need binoculars for.
Which two?
Yeah, you can't see them with your naked eyes, but all of those planets are going to be like all up and visible in the
Cool.
early morning
Nice, okay.
sky, basically.
A
Now-
group together or no?
No, they're spread out from east to
Okay.
southwest, like this in an arch. I'm making an arch pattern with my hands for those of you listening.
She is a perfect arc too.
It was perfect.
It's magnificent.
Perfect. Now, of course, we have some events in August.
yeah.
Sky events, I should say.
Oh, okay.
There's a double meteor shower.
one.
Not one.
Double meteor
Two.
shower.
What about second meteor showers?
Oh.
All right, nice.
I mean, come on,
Nice.
it was right there for the picking.
Were you waiting all day to do that?
No. I just thought of it just now. But the first one is the Delta Aquarids.
Aquarius?
Aquarids. This is in early August, so
Now?
now.
Now,
Basically. It's a
nice.
smaller shower, though, pretty dim, only
Okay.
18 per hour, so...
Yeah,
you
sometimes you
know.
gotta upgrade your shower. Make it a little bigger than that.
And we will upgrade the shower with the next meteor shower, the Perseids.
Oh, good old Percy is coming back.
Yes, it is one of the most popular, most famous meteor showers. I'd say that next to the Orionids,
And the Geminids?
the Geminids, whichever ones, I don't know. The Perseids, you can see up to 60 plus meteors per hour, and it's going to be a good time too. So they peak the morning of August 12th, but the 11th and 13th are still good for checking them out after midnight because the moon will be
After-
setting before midnight, and so with the moon not up, you got nice dark skies.
Gonna
baby.
have to get
It's
some-
always best to view meteor showers after midnight anyway, because we're turning into the stream.
Well, there you go. So
And also, please don't go out and just look up the whole time. Just lay back.
yeah, you need to get in
Sit
like
back,
a
lay
recliner,
back,
a lounge
recline,
chair, and just
Enjoy
know,
yourself. Have your favorite beverage, whatever that
Yeah.
is.
Mm.
and just kind of like
enjoy.
hang out and watch
That sounds-
these
Yeah.
strips.
That sounds excellent.
It does sound nice, doesn't it? I like it.
Last thing you want to do is for your neck to get sore.
Exactly. And these meteors come from the comet Swift-Tuttle.
No, slow tuttle.
No,
Swift-
it's
Yeah.
Swift-Tuttle.
I guess call me a Swiftie, 'cause I'm a fan.
All right, you take a break for that one. It's very topical. Although it does have a 133-year orbit, so it's
And it was here like a few decades ago or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So it's not
Is
going
this-
back in our lifetime.
This would be a Kuiper Belt comet. It's a
Yeah, because 130 years.
Yeah, Oort
Yes.
cloud is much more long
Right,
range.
long
It's-
range.
yeah, it's a shorter
Yeah.
range comet. Yeah. Now, also the moon. moon. On August 19th is a full
Almost did a
moon.
Star Wars reference.
I'm just gonna take a drink because that's gonna happen.
Okay, yeah, just because you said Star Wars reference.
There's no moon.
I think instead of making references, we should just say reference, and we'll know exactly what we're going for.
Which reference it is, yeah. But this moon is a moon. It's a full moon. It is the first of four super moons in a row.
Damn.
Can we define that?
Yeah, it just means that the moon is in perigee, so it's like its closest point, and it looks a little bit bigger in the sky, but it's not. It doesn't look that much bigger in the sky. But
and of course, I know perigee as is very, very close, which is how I remember it.
Hey, that actually is
that's
pretty
actually
good.
good.
That's pretty good. Very, very close.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Is it? Yes, because the perihelion is for the sun. Because of the perihelion.
Perigee and apogee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. So it's also though a seasonal blue moon, which it's the third of four full moons in a season. Has anybody else heard of this seasonal blue moon?
I have never heard of it. See, now we're just making shit up.
Yeah.
Just like
Hilarious, you know? We're just making shit up.
This is a seasonal springtime blue moon with a twist.
It's just like Easter. Just fucking make that shit up.
The third of four full moons in a season.
Yeah.
But a season lasts.
There's 4 seasons in a year, so I guess that means there's a
3
blue moon there's been a blue moon every season.
Well,
or
you should have
the third. No, there's
3
been
full moons.
There's been 4 in one season.
Yeah, because a season is 3 months, right?
Yeah. So it's
you
the
should
third.
have 3 full moons.
Okay.
And so when you have 4, it's like, oh, we got it.
So I think typically you only get a blue moon like literally once every 2.5 years, right?
Well, it's once in a blue moon, so.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
Taking off the rails here.
We're just
I don't know. But anyway, you know what? I forgot to look up the name of this full moon.
Steve.
Okay.
Steve.
It's the frog moon.
It's the frog
moon. We call it the frog moon now. Also, nebula sighting alert. Nebula sighting.
Do we need a
nebula sighting.
sound effect?
All month long with binoculars. Check out the Lagoon Nebula.
Lagoon Nebula.
Yes, it's in Sagittarius, aka the teapot. The first few hours after dark, you can spot it. It is similar in size and brightness to the Orion Nebula. And this is a nebula that's 4,000 light years away. It's an emission nebula, and this basically means that ionized gases from high energy ultraviolet light are lighting up the gas there.
Yeah,
it's basically some really hot stars are lighting up that nebula.
Hot stars near you.
Hot stars near you. Lagoon Nebula. Hot stars near you. So yeah, the Lagoon Nebula. Check it out, or just Google Lagoon Nebula. You'll probably actually get a better view that way.
Yeah. I mean, it'll definitely be prettier, and you'll be able to see it. Unlike us, who can't see anything.
Yeah. Through binoculars, it'll look like a cool gray blob.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely look it up on Google.
All right.
Or wherever you get your.
Your media, your search media.
Yeah.
Who's using anything but Google? Who's using Bing? Tell me.
Jeeves. Again, I'm going to say Ask Jeeves.
They're crazy.
Is Ask Jeeves still a thing?
They're people. There are people that still use, that use Bing. I don't use it.
It's like 5 people.
Yeah. but it's enough to give the Bing people, was it Microsoft? Like all this hope. Like
maybe.
We're really cutting in. And they get like the 6
as if Microsoft doesn't have any like hit products that everybody uses. All right, well that's the night sky for August.
Sweet.
Or some features of the night sky I'll say. It's not everything that's in the night sky, obviously, because the night sky is a big place.
It's everything.
It's a
I think we lost
Brandon. He's reconnected. Is that what that sound is?
Yeah, that's him trying to come through.
Gonna be back in the podcast now. All right, I gotta re-answer his call. I don't know what's gonna happen on Okay.
Hey, I like that face.
Surprise.
Hey, that didn't
Alright,
interrupt
go
the
ahead.
flow of the podcast at all, but
Go
that's
ahead.
fine.
Good thing we just wrapped up the sky.
We did wrap up the sky, as we were saying. Big place. So check it out. Use the Sky Map app.
Yeah, use the sky
On
app.
your phone. My mom has used it before. She'll kind of use it to help her identify stuff. In fact, she was like, "Is this some planet?" And then I was like, "No, I don't think so." And then she was like, "But the phone says," and I was like, "Well, I guess it is. I was wrong. You were right." Hold on, I gotta fix something. There we go.
Bing
Alright.
is useful to download Chrome or Firefox.
There you go. That is the use of Bing before you
Yeah.
have them. Before you have those other web browsers downloaded. Anyway,
Yes.
you can use Bing or Chrome or Firefox to get some news.
Hey.
In fact, astronomy news.
Oh, we got astronomy news! Yay!
So a few things.
Now,
a
we
few things
talked
I
about this
found.
last night. The whole thing has to be done.
I can't.
Beep, 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 beep.
Because we watched it in the movie.
Hello, welcome everybody to Cosmos Astronomy News section. First up, the 25th anniversary of the Chandra Space Telescope. New images have been released from NASA to celebrate the 25th anniversary of this telescope.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't believe Chandra's 25 years old.
Chandra Space Telescope. Chandra.
Oh, it's old enough to rent a car.
It is. That's very true, at least in the U.S.
Come back. Come back to Earth.
It was 25 years of doing science out there. So to celebrate it, NASA released 25 never before seen images, and holy bat balls, Batman!
Bat balls.
Yes, look at these images.
Oh,
They are
those are
stunning.
pretty.
Chandra observes space in the X-ray. And so it's to really celebrate and highlight what X-ray astronomy
So
can
these
do.
are really just X-rated pictures.
These are X-rated space pictures. Yes.
Get your porn here.
Yes,
Astro
space
porn.
porn. This is 100% legit space porn. And absolutely stunning images that release, and not just of deep space stuff, but Jupes is in there as well.
The Eagle Nebula looks amazing.
The Eagle Nebula looks absolutely fucking gorgeous. But yeah, so Chandra uses X-ray to observe, and this comes in light of
we got a drink.
it automatically turned on, but take a drink if you want to drink. I'll take a drink. This is a release in the light of possible funding cuts for Chandra, which would basically shut the telescope down. So, AKA, don't cut funding for Chandra. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay,
Don't do it.
that's not what's written in notes. Notes has something else.
Okay, it has something else. Yes, it's done 25,000
No,
observations.
down at the bottom. Don't fucking cut its funding.
Oh, yeah, I was going to get to that.
Oh.
I mean, I was saying it repeatedly.
I
It's
didn't
true.
fucking know.
Oh,
I didn't hear
I'm
it.
sorry,
Say it
I
again?
didn't say fucking. Don't fucking cut its funding.
There we go.
And this is why, okay? It's done 25,000 observations so far.
Wow.
It's a lot.
It's
2,000 a year.
Yeah, its
3 a day.
impact. 10,000 peer-reviewed and accepted papers based on Chandra data. It's gathered almost 500,000 citations, making it one of the most productive NASA missions in astrophysics. It's also led to over 700 PhDs.
I've never thought of it that way. I've never thought of like how many PhDs has Hubble made?
Right?
You know, that's cool.
Yeah, because you've got people using it they're making dissertations and doing all that thing.
I wonder how many Webb's gonna make.
But so it's so highly requested, it's so popular that only 20% of the requested observing time is approved. Because that's all they have time for.
Yeah, and that's how it is with a lot of the telescopes as well.
Well, yes.
It's the whole review process, and yeah, not many. Not many.
But Chandra is amazing. And let me remind you why it's so freaking amazing. So don't fucking cut its funding.
Nope.
Government.
Please don't.
Please.
Nope.
Please don't. Okay. Anyway, so happy anniversary, Chandra.
Yay!
Yeah, to Chandra.
Cheers.
Cheers. Just up there in space, taking pictures, doing some science. We love it. Also, So in other news, this is from scinews.com, I'm assuming. Astronomers propose a new technosignature, silicon-based solar panels. Okay, so
what's our current base?
Well, okay, so normally we're observing exoplanets and we're looking for biosignatures for life, to find life or see if a planet is habitable for life. This paper is suggesting using techno signatures, so evidence of technology being used, and in the form of silicon. And this is a study that was paper published in the Astrophysical Journal by Dr. Ravi Koparapu of NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center. And it's saying to basically, solar panels made with silicone.
Okay.
And looking for that evidence of silicon-made solar panels out there.
Okay. How
and so the amount of silicone present that they find, then using that to extrapolate data to see if they're that's actually used for solar panels. So it's basically saying solar panel. So silicon is the cheapest, easiest way to make solar panels, and so a civilization out there would use that to make the solar panels. And I'm you guys are real hoping for some smarties out there, because clearly smarter than our dumbasses, because we can't agree on any kind of power source to use, let alone one that is the best for us, because the sun has all this energy that's free.
Yeah. All right. So me being dumb.
Yeah. Same.
How do you tell the difference between just silicone?
I'm sure it's something in the chemical signature and makeup and the amount of it that is being observed.
That was going to be my question.
I don't know.
I think you have to measure the correct response curves of the tachyons.
Oh, it's always tachyons.
Always tachyons.
Okay,
Good thing Star Trek.
That makes sense now. Okay.
So I don't know. I was reading the article and I was like, this is interesting. I probably shouldn't bring this up because I don't know how to explain it. But you can find it on Sci-News, titled "Astronomers Propose New Technosignature Silicon-Based Solar Panels."
I'm gonna have to look it up
for more information about that. It was basically there would need to be a shit ton of solar panels, but it is worthy to look for these techno-signatures rather than just relying on biosignatures to find evidence of life on a planet.
So radio signals would also be a tech.
Yes, could be a techno-signature as well. Yes. And I'm if any planet is smart enough, if they're evolved enough to be, looking at exoplanets and they're looking at Earth, all they're seeing is a bunch of methane. To know that there's possible life on here.
Or they're paying attention to our radio signals and they're just fuck that planet.
They're no.
We're out.
So every time you say looking for techno signals, I just imagine us looking through really big binoculars and seeing aliens with glow sticks dancing.
Just big alien. Let's look for space raves, guys.
Some techno signatures.
All right, so that's interesting. See, it's interesting. This is what people are doing in science.
Yeah,
this is what things are doing.
Mm-hmm.
From Science Daily, and I pulled this article specifically for a Fancy Physics Man because this is right up his jam. Right up his jam alley.
Right up his jam.
Is this about Jesus?
Yes. Another. It depends how you want to read another intermediate black hole discovered at the center of our galaxy.
Yes, but intermediates are rare.
Intermediates are rare. Only 10 intermediate black holes have been discovered in the entire universe so far.
Wow.
I mean, the universe is pretty fucking big, so you take that into account.
So when Andromeda comes and collides with us, will that intermediate black hole be ejected from the galaxy?
You can't. It's gonna be chaotic. You can't, based on where things are right now.
Yes.
You can't make that prediction. You can't even make the prediction.
It's a yes and no answer, Mike.
No. So this study was.
I'm gonna say no, and I'm gonna put a little asterisk by it.
And then asterisk say no. Well, maybe.
Just like how we write down Sagittarius A star, which is the black hole, this big baddie supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy. In fact, this study comes from the University of Cologne, where they were researching a cluster of stars in the immediate vicinity of Sagittarius A star.
I think this study passes the smell test.
I was hoping I was gonna try and throw in some sort of
I got you.
And so this star cluster, it's a really unusually dense star cluster, and it had the stars in it. They should be like random, like orbits, patterns, and stuff like that. But they found it to be very orderly. And so there's something that's keeping these stars in a very orderly form, so to speak. And one of those things could be Sagittarius A star, the supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy that it's hanging out near. However, with further research, they're basically seeing signatures of an intermediate black hole in the middle of this star cluster that's accounting for the orderly patterns
Always
of
look
this
for the
star.
hidden shit.
Always look for the hidden shit. They're seeing like basically characteristic X-rays and ionized gases rotating at speeds of several hundred kilometers per second in a ring around the suspected location of this intermediate mass black hole. Very, very fast. Very fast. And this star cluster, by the way, it is 0.1 light year from the center of our galaxy.
Oh,
so
pretty close.
so this is very close. However, the article gave a nice like kind of reference of that distance. So this is fairly close, but it would still require traveling from one end of our solar system to the other 20 times to cover the distance. And our solar system is, I mean, it takes us a long time. We can't even
now when they say
get
the
out
solar
there
system,
yet.
are we talking like from the edge of the Oort cloud or the edge of the like what?
Oh, you know what? It
Is
didn't.
this,
It didn't specify that. I
oh.
guess maybe.
Well,
Past the heat
if you say the Oort cloud is halfway between us and Alpha Centauri, right? So that's going to be 2 light years.
Oh,
I don't know if they.
Yeah.
I think they. I don't know what they mean for the solar system.
Probably like
but-
probably Kuiper Belt.
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So out
But-
towards near Pluto. Pluto's territory. We'll
But you
say.
know the big difference though is there's a shit ton more gravity.
Mhm.
A lot more gravity.
Yes. Now, this study it used the Very Large Telescope Array, or the Very Large Telescope (VLA) in the Atacama
VLT.
Desert in Chile.
Which was a Jeopardy clue.
It was. We got it, and it
Nice.
also used Chandra. Don't fucking cut the funding for Chandra. To observe the signs of the characteristic signs of the suspected intermediate mass black hole. So, yeah,
sweet.
that's cool.
I like that one.
Very
That's
cool.
for
I
sure.
know. I knew you would like that one.
I got an astronomy news.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is a company called Astroscale, and what its purpose wants to do is go up and deorbit space junk bit by bit and clean things up there. So they launched something, a little satellite, and they got extremely close to a discarded rocket body as a test.
oh, I
That
almost
picture?
put this in.
Oh, nice!
I didn't though.
Yeah, so you can see the pictures of how insanely close they got to the satellite.
It's so
the
cool.
satellite.
It's a cool picture.
This discarded
Rocket.
rocket stage. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
rocket stage.
And it was in
Uh,
really good condition after like what,
yeah.
15 years of being up there or something.
Yeah, which is great. So it's just kind of proof of concept. We can get up there. We can get close enough.
Mhm.
And yeah, let's start deorbiting some shit and cleaning stuff up.
Yeah, because it's messy. We got a messy room. Earth
We
people, we've made a messy
We
room.
gotta clean it up.
Our house is
have
a mess.
lot of
Our
stuff
house is a
that
mess in a
needs-
lot of different fucking ways.
Now, granted, in 6 years we will be deorbiting the biggest thing up there. That's not the moon. The space station is coming down.
Yes, but there is possible proposals of boosting it to a higher orbit to keep it up as a
Right.
historic landmark and not have it crash down to the earth and
historic
buried
landmark.
into the Atlantic Ocean or wherever it's going to be.
We're
Indian
gonna
Ocean.
open like little
Indian
tourist
Ocean.
trap shops near it.
Yeah.
Get
That'd be
little
fun. That'd be fun.
ISS trinkets. I'd go and get it.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
that's sad. But anyway,
Yeah.
cool about the orbital debris.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We gotta pick up our shit. So this next piece of news I did just for the headline.
Beep, 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 beep.
Now imagine as I read this comes from like TMZ or ET,
Okay,
Entertainment
all right.
News. For those of you who don't know what ET stands for, it actually comes from Science Daily. But imagine Astronomers spot highly eccentric planet on its way to becoming a hot Jupiter.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
This is the Timothy
Okay,
Chalamet
yeah,
Go off
headline.
the rails, queen.
Yes, it's a tale as old as Hollywood itself, one would say. This research comes from MIT. A newly discovered exoplanet, TIC 241249530b, has the most highly elliptical or eccentric orbit of any known planet. And it's a young planet that they suspect is evolving into a hot Jupiter.
Okay.
All right,
Wow.
so basically, this orbit is providing some answers to how hot Jupiters evolve. It currently orbits a star that is about 1,100 light years from Earth, and it circles its star in a very highly eccentric orbit. So what this means is that it comes in extremely close to the star before, like, slinging way far out and doubling back.
Mm-hmm.
So like, imagine if this planet was a part of our solar system, it would come 10 times closer to the sun than Mercury before
Oh.
hurtling out just past Earth and then go back around.
That's eccentric.
Yeah, it's very eccentric and it gets very close. They ran a bunch of computer simulations of this orbit over time, and the planet's orbit is going to degrade and shrink and become more tightly bound and circular around the star over time.
That sounds so hot, though.
Yeah, as it gets closer to the star, it maintains that closeness, is going to heat up, becoming a hot Jupiter.
Hey.
However, it's for it to fully evolve into a hot Jupiter and have its orbit kind of, like, I guess, stabilize in a sense or whatever. It's going to take 1 billion years.
So
that's a long time.
don't wait up.
Don't wait up. It's got some slow growth. All right, but it'll get there. It's gonna have it'll go through, it's like, drug use era, and then, we'll get it gets the mugshot phase of this, before it finally cleans up its act and then ends up on the cover of Time is One of the Hottest Men on Earth or something. It's the story of Robert Downey Jr. in a star form, or in a planet form.
Or it's going to take a different route altogether and just crash into the star because of all the drug use and just can't handle going from a child star to.
I'm really rooting for the star, though.
Although it's a planet, we're talking about a planet. We keep saying star. We're rooting for the planet. We're rooting for the planet.
I can still root for the star.
You can root for the star. So that was, I thought, was just a fun little ditty on exoplanets. Another article, phys.org. This may sound a little bit familiar to you, but I don't know if you remember when NASA smacked a spacecraft into an asteroid.
I do.
And then we learned some shit about it. Some of its 12
Hell yeah.
million year history, basically. So the DART mission was back in September of 2022. I can't believe it was in 2022.
God.
How does...
It's like, oh no.
I know. So the asteroid Didymos and its moon Dimorphos, we crashed a DART into the asteroid Didymos to see if we could alter its trajectory, basically saving us from a future Armageddon situation.
Right.
And did it?
It did!
Hell yeah.
We bumped it, and it altered its trajectory, it altered its course a little bit, and so that showed that, hey, yeah, we can bump these asteroids maybe out of the way. We need time.
The stars themselves.
I like that. We need time to make a spacecraft, and we need ample warning to be able to accomplish this, though. But okay, we weren't just crashing a spacecraft into this asteroid; we were also doing some science. So images collected on its way to this asteroid, and then after the landing, were used to basically find out about this asteroid and moon pair and their history and evolution in the solar system. And what they found out was that Didymos, this asteroid, is roughly 12.5 million years old, while its moon Dimorphos formed less than 300,000 years ago, meaning they are much younger than expected to be.
Yeah.
Which means, 12.5 million years ago, the solar system is 4.5 billion years old. So, these are relatively young in the age of the solar system, and the asteroid Didymos is a rubble pile. Basically, it's not very solid, so to speak. It's a collection of rocks loosely held together by gravity.
It's just doing its best to hold itself together.
It is, just as we all are, right? Taking it day by day. Sometimes pieces fall off.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens, which is what's happened with Didymos. Pieces of rocks have fallen off over time. Debris has come off, basically forming kind of like a ring around the asteroid, and then those pieces come together, forming a moon. And that's how Dimorphos was formed,
Yay.
from pieces of Didymos. And so that's some of the things that they were able to learn about this asteroid moon pair from this mission, which is really fun. All right, last article, last bit of astronomy news from ABC News. This seems to be popular in the headlines. I've seen it recurring occasionally. Nova explosion, 3,000 light years away, will be seen from Earth with the naked eye.
When it happens.
Sometime soon. Coming soon to a sky near you.
Like in the next 10,000 years?
No, in sometime before September. When? We don't know, because we can't predict nova explosions. So this, I'm gonna read your joke. I'm gonna read Federico's joke. I'll read it right now. Okay. So Federico says, one of my favorite jokes. Science discoveries are nonsense if taken out of context. News. Scientist says that science discoveries are nonsense. This is true.
Yeah.
This is very true. So this star, T Corona Borealis, aka the Blaze Star, and in my notes, nice. In my notes, I said insert stoner joke here. So this is actually a binary star, which is typical star behavior, be binary. And so what's happening is, like, you have one star is a white dwarf star, and so the other star is pulling gas off of the smaller star, and that gas reaches a critical temperature where you get this runaway fusion, essentially, that happens and causes an explosion kind of in the atmosphere of that star, and that explosion is a nova. It's not great enough to cause a supernova, which would happen in the core of a really big star as it reached, like, kind of a critical fusion, experience. But this just has an explosion on the kind of in the atmosphere that is bright enough that we can see it in our sky. And this one has a period of about 80 years. Explosion rate. So we last saw it in 1946. So we'll see it sometime before September of 2024.
Knock on wood.
We don't know when, but it's going to be really, really bright, apparently, in the night sky.
Yes.
Really bright. So, keep your eyes on the stars, as always. Keep your eyes on the sky.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what's going to happen. You never know what you're going to fucking see out there.
That is true.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. It's cool stuff. Science be
wild.
wild.
How do you find it?
Just
the sky?
You just look up. Oh, where is it gonna be? It's going to be in Corona Borealis. It's a horseshoe-shaped little pattern of stars that is near, what was it?
Hercules.
Vega and Arcturus.
Okay.
It's near Hercules, but look for it between Vega and Arcturus. A sky map app will help you out with that. So Arcturus is the brightest star in Bootes.
And you can bing that.
You can, just bing it.
It will not light up the night sky.
No, but it will be like, oh, hey, what's that
star.
New bright star? A guest star, exactly. It's a guest star. Guest starring T Corona Borealis. So yeah. Science be wild. I didn't find that anybody died, recently that we needed to have an in memoriam about.
That's good.
I mean, you may have to do one for me, so.
No, you're surviving all right.
Yeah.
You're doing good.
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Doing my best.
Yeah.
Just like the stars or the rubble asteroid.
Yeah, it's just we're all just holding ourselves together by gravity at the end of the day, taking it one day at a time.
Yeah.
Rotation at a time.
I mean, I'm really held together by the nuclear strong force. I'm tired. Sorry, that was a bad one.
I do. Anyway,
Anyway.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Cosmos with Cosmos, High in the Sky edition.
We did it!
We did it! Woo! You can follow us on all the things
All
at
the
Drinking
things.
Cosmos on Twitter and Cosmos to Cosmos everywhere else. Yeah, if you want to know what happens like after we finish a main show, if you're just like listening to this on the podcast, then hop on over to our YouTube where we have the hangover
Hey.
of each episode. So if you're with us live now, stick around for that.
Cheers, everybody.
We'll see you next
Oh,
time.
what is it in 2 weeks? It's Voyager.
Wait, what is the
Voyager
date in 2
1
weeks?
Part 2.
Hold on. We have
Oh.
a schedule rearrangement. Hold on, folks. Don't
It's in
go
2
anywhere.
weeks.
Don't go anywhere, folks. We
The
gotta look
18th.
at the calendar.
The 18th.
We gotta just
What's-
make sure.
What's
It's in 2
happening?
weeks.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
I don't know why I thought we needed. Oh, it's in September that
We're-
we need to have a schedule adjustment, I think.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, all right, we're all good. Everything's fine, folks.
Sweet.
Anyway,
Cool.
we'll see you next time.
Excellent.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Adios.